According to dog expert Cesar Millan, who actually has his own TV show on Animal Planet, your dog is actually at least as smart as your 2-year-old child. Dogs, whether pups or adult dogs, can understand roughly around 250 words and gestures, which is very good considering they are a domesticated animal. Every household should purchase a dog as a pet or companion because they are good for many, many reasons. Dogs are actually good for your health. They teach responsibility to not only you but your children as well, and they also offer protection in many ways. Most people just look at a dog as a companion, although they have a huge potential for being good for people's health as well. Dogs are good for your health in many different ways. Dogs, by just being a companion, can actually lower the risk of many, many diseases. Some of these diseases include heart problems, they can lower your blood pressure, they can lower your cholesterol, and they can actually even detect types of cancer. Types of cancer include like prostate cancer is like the number one cancer they can apparently sniff out. They can also actually sniff out diseases too, not just cancer, like stuff associated with diabetes, so like high blood sugar and stuff like that. They can also act as assistant dogs, like hearing aids, and they also have a very strong reaction to hypoglycemic episodes, which is low blood sugar. And they can also provide pet therapy to either youth or actually elderly patients as well. Then you might say, okay, they can help me, but my young ones really don't get sick and have good health, so what can they do for them? Actually, they can do a lot more for your young ones than you think. Dogs teach a huge amount of responsibility to your children. Dogs actually teach young children, when taking care of them, to take initiative, remain grounded, and teach them that another living thing depends on them. Because when another living thing depends on them, they have to do things with the dog, like they have to walk it, they have to bathe it, they have to groom it, and they have to feed it, or if they don't do that themselves, they actually have to go and tell their parents that they need to make a veterinarian appointment or a groomer appointment to go get taken care of the dog. And it also teaches them to be a role model to the young dog, because you have to be able to tell a dog right from wrong, because say you're potty training a puppy or it's running around the house and it's really hyper, you have to teach it to not like tear up pillows and tear up furniture and everything. And a good example of this is actually my dog. His name's Buddy, and he is about 9 years old, and I've had him since I was really, really young, and he's taught me a lot of responsibility. I've taken a lot more responsibility with him lately since my older sister and her husband moved out. I've been feeding him a lot, giving him water, and letting him outside and playing with him a lot, and making sure he gets to bed and everything, and making sure, that his bed's not torn up if he does try to tear it up or, anything like that. Most people think, okay, when I get a dog, I'm going to have to take care of it. Although most dogs can actually take care of you in return in some ways. Now you may think, how can a dog take care of me? It's just a domesticated animal, and I have to, make sure he uses the bathroom and feed it and water and clean it and whatever. But dogs can actually offer a very high protection. Dogs can actually reduce the chance of a home robbery. They can reduce the chance of being robbed out in public if you have your dog. So say like you're walking around with your dog and you have it on the street, or maybe you're walking around in like a nice neighborhood and there's a walking trail or a bike trail. If you are say you have 1, 2, how many ever dogs, if you're walking with a dog on a leash and say you're alone, somebody's a lot less likely to mess with you if you have a medium to like large size dog, because they know that they just don't have to take on you, but they also have to take on that dog, because that dog's probably going to protect their owner, because they're very loyal dogs. They also provide neighborhood security, so like say even if there's like a break-in next door, dogs obviously have really good hearing. So say there's a break-in across the street, next door, even in your house, they're going to start barking, and then people are going to start hearing it, and then their next dog's going to start barking, and the next dog's going to start barking, and people are going to hear that, and it's going to provide neighborhood security for everybody, because they're going to be sort of like your watcher, your guard over your neighborhood. They can also keep a good eye on your kids if anything goes wrong in a public place like a park. So say you're sitting on the bench and your kid's playing in the park, and you have your dog, and say you're not paying attention and you're talking to your friend that also lives in the same neighborhood, y'all are talking at the park, and a stranger comes up to them or bothers them, or something bad happens, that dog's going to start barking to alert you that something bad happened. All in all, dogs make a very strong argument for the best pet and companion you can have for a household. Most people may be torn over the decision of a pet between things like a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish, etc., guinea pig, hamsters, everything. These are all very good pets, although dogs provide things that almost no other pet can provide as a whole. Dogs are good for a person's health, teach a huge amount of responsibility to your children and even you, and they also offer a level of protection that about no other common pet can offer you. Dogs are by far the best choice in terms of a pet for every single household. Dogs can understand around 250 gestures and words, and that is amazing because they're just a pet, and the fact that they can comprehend and be able to take in over 250 words and gestures, I just think that's absolutely amazing. Also, the sheer fact that dogs can sniff out diseases and can actually lower your chance of developing certain diseases is absolutely astounding. There are many choices when it comes to purchasing a pet and a companion for your house, and by far, just from the information I've given you, dogs are by far the best choice for a companion for your household.